have no idea where January 2025 has gone. 31 days has just flown. I feel like I just sat down to do my stash video like a few days ago, and now it's the 1st of February. That being said, I have got some knitting. I've got new cast-ons on the needle. I've got some finished objects, and I've also got works in progress that have had some attention. So if any of that sounds like the kind of thing that you are interested in, you've got the right channel, and I'd love you to stick around. Hi, my name is Susan. I am an independent yarn dyer that lives and works on the southeast coast of Queensland, Australia, on a tropical island north of Brisbane. I own the business Eve Designs. The business specialises in hand-dyed yarns that are made in collections that all work cohesively together. My collections are usually inspired by things that are pop culture, so anything that is sci-fi, a little bit of fantasy. I love things that are dark and macabre, so anything Tim Burton inspired is very much my jam. So we have had quite a few collections over the years, ranging from my very first one, which was Vampire Slayer, inspired by the cult TV show Buffy. I've also done Firefly collections, and we've had a club that has run in the Whovian sphere. So, if you like that sort of thing, this is definitely the place for you. I'll pop up here where you can find my website and all my socials. So if you'd like to follow me over on any of those, I'd love for you to join me there. So today I'm going to be talking mostly about knitting. Actually, all about knitting. There's nothing crocheted today at all. I also have some thrift finds that I'll be sharing, and some, at the end, some shop news for some upcoming collections. So if you are interested in those, stick around. So let's get into some finished objects. The first finished object I have is the Jabina shawl by Lisa Overby, I want to say. Yeah, Lisa Overby. And it is, I'll get my son to put the pattern picture up in colour. It is a one skein shawl. As it is knit in the pattern, you would have quite a bit of leftover. I have modified it slightly to use the whole skein, and I have notes for that on my project page on Ravelry. I actually did Ravelry. Don't count on me doing it for everything, because it's not something I usually do. But yeah, I knit this shawl. I'll just pop it up on the camera. It's quite a lovely shawl. Basically, you start off and increase while you're doing the lace at the same time, and then you do a straight section. And the straight section is just 4 repeats in the pattern. It's a free pattern, so I can share. And I did 8 repeats on mine. And then you decrease. I'll just give you a up close on that lace. I don't know if you can see that. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful lace pattern. I think it's 16 row repeat lace though, so there is a chart and written instructions for the lace. But once you've done it, I'm going to say 4 or 5 times, you can read your knitting quite easily in that lace section. I just put a marker. It tells you in the pattern to do it, but I put a marker where the lace started so that you knew exactly in that section where you were at. And then the rest is garter with a slip stitch I-cordy bit on, I think it's like an I-cord edge, I think that's what they call it, on the side. Yeah. The yarn that I have used is one of my own yarns. It's from the Whovian Club that I ran a couple of years ago, so I'm using Old Stash. This was the May 2023 colorway. I want to see if your eyebrows drop off. Hopefully that's not going to blow out too much. But yeah, if you can see, it's basically a natural yarn with some beautiful olive green and purple and grey and brown speckles through it. So yeah. So yeah, that's like I say, an old colorway of mine that I had sat in my stash for a while that I've been meaning to use. Highly recommend. Will definitely knit it again. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I think the designer is in Canada. From a little bit of research that I've done, I will be sharing. I try to focus on Australian designers where I can, but I wanted a knit that would work really well. And I was browsing for a little scarfette, like the Sophie shawl, Sophie scarf, and this came up when I put all the filters on, and I just kind of fell for the lace. Actually, I thought it was beautiful, and just a small amount to keep you interested. So yeah, highly recommend. I will link the pattern down in the show notes if anyone wants to knit it. Yeah, it took me about 6 nights in front of the TV. It wasn't an arduous slog or anything. It was very, very pleasant. All right, so that is work in progress number 1. Oh, sorry, finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is a pair of, or 2 pairs of the same, because I used up all the yarn that I had. These are just vanilla socks. You know, I have sock blockers, but another sock is on it, so that's why they're not on the sock blocker. 1x1 twisted rib on this. These were knit top down. I put an afterthought heel in it because it's a self-striping patterned yarn. This is a commercial yarn available. I don't know if it's still available, but I got it from Spotlight. It was called Not Only Socks. I tend always to put contrast toes, heels in because these are for my husband and he wears them every day on the daily for work, and then I can, once he puts a hole in, which I have done in the past, I just cut out the heel or the toe wherever the hole's appearing, and I pick up the stitches and I knit a new heel and toe. So it gives all that beautiful knitting of the sock a little bit more longevity if you are tough on your socks, toes and heels. So yeah, obviously I have 2 of those. I have a pair, but they are done. And then, because I want to use all the yarn where I can, I have a second pair. These are a shorter pair, like a little shortier version. Again, contrast toes, heels and cuffs. Also, like, I've used a bit of contrast and a little bit of the extra yarn. Like, I've just used up every little bit that I can. Again, the same reasoning. Afterthought heel. I usually do an afterthought for my husband because he's very, very tough on the heels, and then I can just go cut, pick up and fix. So yeah, the contrast is an Ashton design yarn. This one is Wesley from the Vampire Slayer collection. So yeah, those are 2 pairs of socks complete. Basically this month all I did was the heels and toes. Everything else was done. So that is second not work in progress, I keep saying that, second finished object 2 and 3. Now we're going to talk about whips. So I have a couple of whips, or 3 whips to share. The first whip is sitting in my penguin bag that I made, and it also, I don't know, I showed this last time, but I have this beautiful Orca yarn cutter. I don't know if you can see. It's got a little blade in it, which lives on my bag. That yarn cutter is designed and made by 1121 Windmills, who is Lisa. She's also an Australian maker. I will link her down in the description. So yeah, I have made some progress on my Gold of Heart socks. Sorry, I'm just going to balance this bag on my lap. Right. So I've worked, sorry about all the ends. I have worked through, the color work. So that is complete, and I am working my way down to the heel. These are all Ashley Design yarns. They are from the Build a Beautiful Socks of Build a Beautiful Box of Socks Club, which was last year's 2023 sock club. That club saw you receive the yarn and the pattern every month for a pair of socks, and by the end of the 9 months you had 9 beautiful pairs of socks. So this is the yarn. I've came with a main skein, which was in the pink obviously, and then these 2 colors, I've got them in full skeins, but they were minis for your color work. And every club also received a hard copy printed out brochure of the sock pattern. This pattern is going to be available on my Ravelry store in February. So if you're interested in knitting your own pair, oh, it is February. I will put it up before I load this video. If you're interested in knitting yourself a pair of these socks, that pattern will be free for the month of February on my Ravelry store, which is perfect if you want to whip up a pair of Valentine's socks. That is the finished sock, and what it looks like. It has a little detail, little crosshatch detail on the toe. It has a slip stitch, heel turn and gusset, and then beautiful color work, 1x1 twisted rib, and they are knit top down. So if you would like to knit a pair of these, it's a free gift from myself over on my Ravelry store for this month. Right, so that is work in progress number 2, and I will hopefully have those finished before Valentine's. So work in progress number 2 is my Slater tee. Slater tee. I had someone in the comments tell me that I well and truly butchered the name of this, so I do apologize to all those. I think it's Danish or Swedish. I think she said the designer was Danish, but yeah, it is a pattern. Sorry, I don't want to lose my spot as to where I am. I will get Ash again to put up an image in color, but it is a men's t-shirt style knit that's done in cotton, but it goes to a 4XL, and I think that the boxy shape of it is perfect for my body style, my body type. Like, I'm quite busty, but I've also got you know, a tummy. I'm in my 50s, and so, oh sorry, excuse me, and so I'm hoping that it'll fit really well. I cast on with the blue yarn that I showed last episode. So I've got it here. I'll just show you the yarn. This was a Spotlight yarn. It was Modavira. It's called Florentine Contenti, and it is a navy blue that has kind of like a little bit of a heathered effect through it. The makeup of this one is 35 polyamide, 35 wool, no sorry, put your glasses on, old lady, 35 polyamide, 30% viscose, 30% wool, and 5 cashmere. I am going to tell you that if you have any of this or source any of it, it'll probably be on D-Stash because I got it in the clearance bin. It feels lovely in the ball. It is hard on your hands. It feels like knitting with cotton. But I do know, because we've knit socks in it before, my daughter and I, that when it washes up, it softens and it is beautiful. So I'm looking forward to that component, that like when that happens. So I'm about 30% through of the pattern. I should have put this on some tried on cords, but I have neglected to do so. I feel like, oh, I didn't get gauge. So that was where I was going. I didn't get gauge on this particular one. I was about 3 stitches out, which is a lot, but I have adjusted my size. I was going to knit the 4XL, I've adjusted to the 3XL to accommodate that gauge issue. And I also want quite a bit of positive ease in this because I don't want a t-shirt that clings. I want it to be quite airy. So the neckline looks really wide at the moment, but you pick up and you knit in, so I'm not worrying about it. I just want to show you, like, it's hard because it's navy blue, so I apologize. It's probably going to be really tricky to see on screen. This is the shoulder construction that really appealed to me. So you knit this kind of I'm assuming this will block out nicely. You knit this kind of saddle shoulder. It's all done. There's no seaming, it's all done in one. And then you increase, this is a free pattern too, so I can tell you, then you increase out and then you do raglans. But when it's on, you don't actually see the raglan because the raglan starts at the sleeve. But yeah, so that's where I'm up to. I'm sorry if I can see it on screen. That's where I'm up to currently on this particular knit. What can I say about it? Let me think. The instructions are great. I have never done this construction before. I found it really easy to follow the instructions. It's set out really easily to read in nice little sections. So once you complete a section, I just tick that section off and I move on to the next section. Yeah, I don't know really what else to say. It's a really enjoyable knit, apart from the yarn which is really hard on my hands. But yeah, it's coming along beautifully. I think the stitch definition, I don't know if you can see, but the stitch definition in this yarn is beautiful. So yeah, I'm looking forward to putting a bit more work on this, and next time I'll put it on the tried on cords and I'll show you once I've split for sleeves, which is not far away now. So yeah, exciting. That is whip number 2. Okay, so whip number 3. The next one is a brand new cast on. I'm excited. I am knitting the Noel Shawlette. This is a pattern by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, who is an Australian-based knitwear designer. Her patterns are amazing. If you've not knit a Curious Handmade or a Helen Stewart pattern, just do yourself a favor. The way she lays her patterns out is exquisite. Every row is written out and there's a tick box. She tells you how far you're through it with percentages. It's an absolute pleasure. The format that she uses is an absolute pleasure to knit. So yes, I cast it on last night, so I'll show you what I've got. First of all, I'll show you the bag it's in because these are coming to the shop in March. So I have got it in one of the Keep Your Knit Together, Keep Your Knit Together new bags, which are part of a new collection that we're collaborating on. So Wendy is my sister. She has the business Keep Your Knit Together. She and I are collaborating on a new collection where you can purchase the bags and get all the yarn. I will show you the yarn and everything in the shop update section later. So yes, here is, and the cast on is in one of the new yarns, which I'm so excited about. So as you can see, they're designed to coordinate. I am 25% done. It feels like that doesn't feel like 25%. So this particular pattern has, it's got this beautiful, it's an I-cord cast on, and it has this beautiful I-cord on both edges, and it's a lovely methodical garter stitch knit. It's done on a 3.5mm needles. I'm using ChiaoGu's interchangeables. Yeah, I cast on last night in front of the TV, and after about 2.5 hours I had that much done, which doesn't seem like a lot in 2.5 hours, but I had to get my head around a few things considering how simple it is. The I-cord tested me in the first section. So yeah, the yarn I'm using is my own yarn, Ashneep Designs, and it is it's not even labeled, but it is here. It is part of the new Botanic Cats collection that will be coming in March, which is a new collection we're launching at the Australian Yarn Show in Canberra, but it will also launch online at the same time. So yeah, it's blowing out a little bit. It is like a beautiful dirty pink, peachy, corally, oxblood ready yarn. Actually, that's better. That's a little bit better. So yeah, that's the yarn. This pattern is designed for a DK, so I'm holding it double. I'm pulling from the center and the edge, which is giving me this beautiful, beautiful fabric. So that is the Noel Scarflet. What does she call it? Scarflet. The Noel Scarflet from 2024 Knit. The pattern is available for individual sale on Ravelry, but there is also in a bundle from Knit. I think you can still buy that. But yeah, beautiful, really, really enjoying it. Okay, let's talk what I have thrifted. So those of you who've watched my last episodes will see that I am a crazy tortoiseshell needle lady. I have a beautiful jar of tortoiseshell needles that I have saved from landfill. So these are my collection. Anytime I see them in the thrift shop, they're usually $1, sometimes $2, but mostly $1. A lot of them are worse for wear, as in you wouldn't want to try and knit with them. They are, I don't know if you can see that, they are quite brittle. I think that they are late 60s, early 70s to early 80s is where most of them would be from. But yeah, anytime I see them in a thrift store or a tip shop or where else have I seen them? Oh, I've seen them on Marketplace as well, people selling them on Marketplace. I grab them because even though some of them are breakable and not usable to knit with, I do not want to see them in landfill. They are so beautiful. So that being said, this month, this is my needle haul. Now, I would like to thank my sister for collecting and enabling my obsession. She has definitely contributed this component of them. So that one's still got its elastic band on. But the other day I saw a big set for sale on Marketplace and I was like, you know what? I'm getting them purely because I feel that it's important to save things that are vintage and beautiful, but also on the advert, some of them were brand new in package. So I got 2 sets that had never been out of their packets, and then I had this big bundle as well come. So these are all my acquisitions for January. This is not normal. Usually I find 2 pairs, 3 pairs a month. this was an amazing find. But that is my addition to my collection for this month. And in here, let's see if I can find them, are the cutest little mini pair. I've never seen them so small before. Oh, she's dropping them all on the floor. Sorry. Why can't I find them? They were the tiniest little pair and I cannot find them. I mean, maybe I've set them aside. I might have set them aside. But yeah, so that will be joining my collection. That is acquisition number one. There. My sister also found the cutest little needle gauge. I did say in a previous video, anything that I find that's vintage in the way of needle gauges. I don't think this one's a vintage one, but the beehive, she knew that I would love. She found it and she sent it up with the needles. So yeah, I have a gorgeous little beehive needle gauge as well. And then when I was out thrift shopping, I always check the bag section, because who doesn't want a unique knitting bag, right? Yes, I love handmade knitting bags that my sister makes, but also every now and then I like something that I can just sort of throw in the back of the car and take out in public and it doesn't look like a conventional knitting bag. So this is missing the strap. It actually had a strap that they'd obviously taken off another bag and it didn't match, so I've removed that. But this is 100% leather. Beautiful, beautiful vintage leather bag. It's got internal zipper pocket, a box bottom, a back zipper pocket, the softest, beautiful leather that you would see, and it's also got a front pocket where you can fold up and pop your pattern in. So this is going to be a ad hoc knitting bag that I will be using. Oh, the clasp is wood as well. I haven't googled or even looked, but it is a Cellini or Cellini, Cellini. It's embossed on the actual front of the bag. But yeah, so that's another tip I have for you lovely knitters out there. If you do like a vintage inspire find, always check the handbag section of your thrift shop, because sometimes you find a treasure, 100% leather, smells divine. Internally, like I've cleaned it all up, but internally it hardly looked used. When I pulled the lining out and washed the lining, it was like spotless. So I'm going to crochet, I think, a handle for it. I think that's still to be decided, but yeah, I will be putting a handle on it. Or I may just use these to hang. Actually, I might do that. I may use these to hang off a yarn cutting tool. That's what I probably will do. And maybe a stitch marker, like to hang my stitch markers off, like a clasp. I think that's what I'll do. But yeah, so a beautiful vintage handbag find, which will be perfect for up to 2 skeins, I'm gonna say. And then my last thrift shop find, I always check the fabric section in my thrift store. If you're a maker, chances are you're like me. You don't only knit or crochet, you may dabble a little bit in the sewing or in weaving or spinning. We tend to be multi-craftual. So yeah, I found some beautiful, I'm gonna say it's a viscose blend fabric. It's gorgeous. It cost me, there's 4 meters of it, and it cost me, I think it was $5. Yeah, it was $5. In this lovely gray. It's like a bluey gray. It's my perfect blue. Like it's is it blue? Is it gray kind of thing? It's that gorgeous sort of dusky, powdery blue gray with this gorgeous polka dot. So yeah, I have 4 meters of that, and that will be made into a sewing project this year. Not sure, dress maybe. 4 meters is quite a lot, so yeah, I'm quite happy with that find for $5. I mean, you couldn't get that for $5 a meter, let alone 4 meters. So those are my thrift finds. Oh, hang on. More needles. Yep, so that's this month's thrift finds. Now we're going to talk about shop updates. So if you have got this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking around. Please, if you don't not interested in the shop update, that's fine. If you have liked the video, I would appreciate a subscribe or a thumbs up or a comment. It helps get me out there, and yeah, that's what I am hoping for with this channel, is to build that community around, you know, what we're doing in this lovely craft that we all love. All right, shop news. So like I said, in the beginning of March this year, so 2025, it's the second weekend in March. I think it's the 8th and 9th of March in Canberra. There is going to be a in-person yarn convention event, or fibre yarn convention event, called the Australian Yarn Show. I will be vending outside of my state for the first time. Queensland is a hot climate, so we don't have a lot of yarn events here. So it's very exciting for me to be going down to Canberra, where it's cold and there's lots and lots more knitters probably per capita. So to be able to go and meet the people and absorb the knitting culture and learn new things and just be inspired is very exciting. So yeah, my husband and myself and my sister will be coming up from, she resides in Tasmania. She will be coming up with her bags, and we will be vending at the Australian Yarn Show in Canberra. It's been held at the Realm Hotel, and yeah, tickets are available for sale online at the moment for the show. There's workshops that you can purchase. There are free like stage talks, which I will be doing a panel talk with Karina from Louie and Lola and Marie from Obsession Yarns. The three of us will be doing a panel talk on Sunday afternoon. Yes, Sunday afternoon. So if you're around and you want to come and have a chat with us, that would be amazing. We would really appreciate you to come and listen to what we have to say about the craft that we love and the industry that we love. But that being said, I've started dyeing yarn ready, and my sister has started making bags ready for this event. And one of the new collections that we'll be launching is called Botanicats. It has been completely and utterly inspired by this amazing fabric that my sister has sourced for some new bags that she is creating. This is one of 3 colorways in the same fabric. So this is the pink version, and it has this amazing oxblood russet color lining that coordinates with one of the Botanicats. Obviously, botanical cats is a play on words, botanicals, because they have botanicals and they're cats. I shouldn't have to explain that, but you know, my mum didn't get it, so we explain it. But yeah, so this is one of her large bags. She does 3 sizes of bags. This is the large sweater / blanket bag. Quite comfortably fit 5 skeins in there. In fact, let's put some yarn in. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 skeins of yarn in there, and you can still very easily close that bag up. So it is a great size bag. Wendy also, with her bags, does an amazing job of making sure that her fabric is cut to the perfect size, so that when you drawstring your bag, it doesn't cinch in. It creates this beautiful platform area with the box bottom, where you can, when you're knitting, have it next to you on the couch or whatever, and you can just pop your knitting on top, because it sits nice. She's got a really nice wide box bottom base. It doesn't fall over, and it gives you this like little mini table area to pop your knitting down on top as well. All her bags come with a clip-on hardware on the front so that you don't have to go fishing around in your bag to find your stitch markers, or if you want to put your little scissor snips or whatever on there, you can hang them on the outside. Find it really handy as well when going out with your knitting. You can hang your car keys on it because it's got the little like open leather component. Beautiful strong weaved knitting handle and a drawstring construction. So yeah, that is one of the bags. The other size bag she does is a beautiful 2 to 3 skein bag. So I'll just pop these together so you can see the size difference. So it's about 2 inches smaller and probably 3 inches smaller in height. And then she does what we call her ball bag, and that is a little hang over the single like sock yarn single ball project bag, and it hangs over. It's not drawstring. It has a construction that hangs over your wrist, so you can walk around with it and knit. So those are some of the bags that will be coming to Canberra. They also will be coming in a beautiful blue and a charcoal. I really like the charcoal one. So let's talk yarn that coordinates. All right, so you've already seen in my work in progress for my Knoll scarflet, this particular one. Well, it has a friend that is a semi-solid. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love that one. Sorry, I'm just fishing through this bag to see what else I've got in here. So there's a semi-solid. It also has another friend, which has the blue, which is the blue that is in the bag of the blue colorway bag. And this is just a few where a lot of them are still being dyed up. The semi-solids are being dyed up. It also has that beautiful one, which is peaches and sage green. And then there is the sage green that coordinates with it. So a lot of these aren't named yet, but will be named very shortly. And the names are all going to be puns on botanicals, but with cat puns inserted. So for example, this is eucalyptus because it's a lovely eucalyptus green. So yeah, eucalyptus. This one is going to be, this one I think we're calling kangaroo purr. Meogany. So yeah, all cat pun names. But yeah, so that's one of the collections that will be coming with us to Canberra in March. It will also be available on our web shop for pre-order. I think that's all I have for today. So if you've made it this far, I appreciate you sticking with me to the end. Hopefully I've gotten smoother and better for my transitions because Ashton tells me off all the time. But yeah, I hope you find some time for yourself, the things you enjoy and love. I hope you find some peace and crafting time. I will be back probably in a couple of weeks to share another video. But until March, you may not see any more of the works in progress. I do have some new cast-ons up my sleeve though, so you never know. Alright, thanks for stopping by and I'll see you next video.